Good morning, everybody. This is Michael Reeves, head coach of the Los Angeles Rams in our Autumn Wind 30-team Strat-o-matic football league. And we are just getting ready to kick off the fourth and final Wildcard game. This one today features Shreveport and Philadelphia. Shreveport is coached by Rick Byrons. And by the way, this is the NFC. So Shreveport this year finished 10-6, and the Philadelphia Eagles finished 12-4. Philadelphia is the reigning Autumn Wind champions, and they're coached by Dave Szymanski, again, 12-4, and they finished third in the Lombardi division. Shreveport, 10-6. They actually won their division. They won the Hallis division, but they will be matching up today for the chance to play in the divisional round. So let's get things set up here with the game card and the little progress notes. We should be good to go. So this will be an interesting matchup between two clubs, longtime coaches here in Strat, Autumn Wind League specifically. 50 years. This league has run for 50 years, if you can imagine that. Started out in California, card and dice, and has made their way now to an electronic league that includes 30 clubs from all over the country, as well as a couple of Canadian teams, too. I personally have been in this league for 7 years. I enjoy it. A lot of great coaches here and a lot of very, very nice people. It's a well-run league, and it's a favorite of mine. So we'll start out first here with Shreveport, who took the kickoff, and they have the ball at their 20. It's 3rd and 10. And that is Josh Allen with Aaron Jones. Nice little 1-2 punch. You look to the outside, that's Cole Beasley, Jackson, and Adam Thielen. So he's got a couple of deep threats there. Looking for Tyler Higbee. Allen's going to run, but he's only going to pick up 9, just short of a first down. And so Shreveport will not hesitate. They will punt. And so the Eagles will take over for their first possession. We're just a couple of minutes here into the fourth and final Autumn Wind contest here for our wild card. Divisional round will start next week. And again, these are two clubs in the NFC. So Philadelphia, Dave Szymanski, the reigning champion of Autumn Wind. His club defeated the Montreal Alouettes last year. So on his first play from scrimmage, that is a loss of 2. Alvin Kamara, the real-life New Orleans Saint, loses a couple of yards. It was guessed right. It's now 2nd down and 12. So that's Pollard has now checked into the game. That's Kyle Juszczyk at blocking back. Kirk Cousins under center. Hunter Henry at tight end. Braylon Edwards on one side. And it looked like Clark on the other. That's Keelan Cole on the other side. They average 24 points a game. They are running up against Shreveport that defensively only allowed 16 a game. There were only 2 other clubs of 30 that allowed fewer points, and this is the stingiest defense in the NFC. So 3rd down and 12. They'll go 3 wide. Now we will see Brandon Ayuk from the real-life San Francisco 49ers. Kyle Juszczyk will stay to protect Cousins. Although he's a pretty good receiver out of the backfield, he could potentially be a target. Here comes a quick out pass to Hunter Henry. And it's going to be a nice pickup, 15 yards. Short gain. It would have been short gain right or wrong, but there was nobody there in that zone, so it was guessed wrong. That flat pass, empty zone, not enough people brought on the rush. If you bring in 5, that's a guessed right, but it was a guessed wrong there, but it wouldn't have mattered. It was a short gain either way. There is a run Again, for Kamara, pickup of 2 on the play. So 12-4 club. Dave Szymanski got off to a rocking start this year. If I remember correctly, I think he was undefeated after 2 quarters. The lone team in Autumn Wind, I believe that was undefeated after 2 quarters. And again, they are the reigning Autumn Wind champions. Two veteran coaches here. Off tackle run for Pollard. Defense gets his pass. In fact, they were double teaming Keelan Cole. Guessed wrong. That's a 6-yard pickup. Now it's 3rd and 2. So Szymanski's offensive line goes 5-0, 5-4-5 across. Got a 5 nose tackle there for Rick Byron's. Lots of 4s on the field, but he's got a very, very good secondary with 6s and 5s, 5 and 6 on the corner, and a 5 deep and a 5 free safety. Not an overwhelmingly dominant defense, but again, kudos to him for putting together a club that only allowed 16 points a game. There's a screen right. There's one man there. And he's just able to pick up 2 yards and move the chain. So another first down for Philadelphia. I'm looking to see where the pass rush is coming from. I don't really see much. Looking for Hunter Henry. Defense gets his pass. One man in the zone. And it's incomplete on Kirk Cousins' card. He's got an incompletion on 6 and 2. And a -1 on 12. So some people in the real-life NFL question whether or not Kirk Cousins can take your team to a title, but Dave Szymanski proved last year that, yes, indeed, Kirk Cousins can win you a title. And he's going to go back-to-back, hopefully. He's got a strong enough team that he can make it to the finals. 12-4 record this year for the Duke. There's a pass that is caught over the middle, fumble chance, but he holds on. 6 yards there for Hunter Henry, who already has 2 receptions for 21 yards on this drive. It's now 3rd and 4 at the 46. Shreveport, again, only allowed 16 points a contest, best in the NFC. Change things up here a little bit. We got a pro set defense. Now we've got all 4s there in this 3-4 defense along that set of linebackers. So let's see if they choose to flood a couple of those flat pass zones. Or maybe we see an off-tackle run here. Got 4s on defensive end on the left and the right. There it is. An inside run for Kamara, but nice call. Defense calls run, and he's going to lose a yard, so they're going to have to punt here. So both teams hold serve on their first drive. Let's see if the Eagles can pin them deep here. That looks good, and they will. So Shreveport's going to begin with the shadow of the end zone to their backs. They're at the 5-yard line, first down and 10. Loss of 1 on the play. That was Aaron Jones. And that was his first carry of the game. That was on the D card, and I believe that was the blocking back reading. So Going backwards here, second down and 11, ball at the 4. Autumn Wind Wildcard, the fourth of 4 wildcard matchups. This time it's the NFC. Shreveport 10-6, Philadelphia 12-4. Philadelphia looking to go back to back as Autumn Wind champions. A little bit more difficult now that they have to play a wild card game. Here's a look for Higbee, and that's 11 yards. Move the chains, first down. So that's Josh Allen's first completion. He has a mediocre short pass card and flat pass card. I had him actually in one of my leagues, Strat-o-matic. He was fun to play with because he's got a really, really nice running card, so it keeps your opponent off. To know that I had him actually and Sanders on the same club, so it was fun. I ran a lot this year with them. Unfortunately, finished 7-9. It's kind of maddening because I don't think Strat really replicates his passing ability. You've got to get the other team to guess wrong for him to be effective. There's a deep shot, and it's incomplete. Looking for, I believe that's Deshaun Jackson. Guessed wrong there. Wow, long gains on 6 and 8. And so, as I've said before, dancing between the raindrops as Philadelphia dodges a bullet there. There is an inside run. Actually, it's an end run to Allen. And it's guessed right. So great call there from Duke as he loses a chunk of yards. 6 to be exact, and Philadelphia is going to take over with excellent field position. So nice call by Duke there. And Shreveport is forced to punt for their second time. So this is Philadelphia's second possession. They punted on their first possession and pinned Shreveport deep at their own 5. Shreveport not able to do anything with it, hands the ball back to Philadelphia, who've now made their way to midfield. Ball at the 50 after that 6-yard run by Alvin Kamara. It's now second down and 4. Looking for Kamara again. Defense calls run. They took one of those middle linebackers out, so he's basically throwing against one linebacker, and he gets a white die 6, which in our rule set, we'll move it from 1 man in the zone to 0 man in the zone, and he just happened to hit the short gain, and that's a 15-yard gain for Alvin Kamara, his second catch, and Cousins is now 4 of 5, and the ball rests at the 35-yard line. So for the first time, one of these two clubs have made their way into enemy territory. There's a flat pass guessed wrong and another 13-yard pickup. So now we have the ball at the 22-yard line. That was to Kyle Juszczyk from the San Francisco 49ers. It's his first catch of the game, and Cousins continues his nice start. 5 of 6 for 51 yards. Cousins again back looking deep and incomplete. And that pass was intended for Braylon Edwards. I'm sorry, Brian Edwards, not Braylon Edwards. Brian Edwards, who has a really solid strat card this year and was summarily dumped by the real-life Oakland Raiders. I believe he played just a little bit for Atlanta, but I don't think he did enough to actually earn a card. There's a nice pickup. Again, defense guesses run, and Pollard is able to pick up 13 on the play on that flat pass. He's got a very, very nice flat pass guessed wrong, but a lot of the running backs do. And so Philadelphia is in business here at the Shreveport 9. First and goal to go. 2 minutes on a running clock. Here in the first quarter. No score. But Philadelphia looking like they're about to strike first blood. Back in that same I formation. Pitch out. Defense has a man there in the zone, and they called run, and that's a stop behind the line of scrimmage. So Kamara will lose 3, and it's now second and 12. So the flat pass was off the table. Now it's back in play. We are one day away from the real-life NFL Super Bowl. It's February 11, 2023. Tomorrow, February 12th, the Kansas City Chiefs will take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts' first Super Bowl appearance. This is Patrick Mahomes' third, and he just was named NFL MVP for the second time. Looking for Braylon Edwards. He catches it. 4 men in zone. Wow, look at that little tiny 11 there on a 12. All those blanks, and he dialed up the 11, but he's pulled just short. Pulled down just short of the goal line, stopped at the 1. That was the safety, John Johnson, who made the play. So it's 3rd and goal. So let's see if Shreveport can tighten up here. That's Pollard and Kamara and Juszczyk, who I believe has a pretty decent running card. I don't know if guessed right it's a good card, but it's nice to have a third option. A lot of fullbacks can't do much of anything. That's a run for Cousins, and he's keyed. Wow, big stop there for Shreveport. It's on the defensive card, and the linebacker in the zone was able to make the play. He needed to be a 5, and he was exactly that. And that was Perriman. Longtime NFL veteran, so it's 4th and 2, and Duke has a decision to make here. You struggle making your way all the way inside of the 5 and have to think, gosh, I'm only going to come up with a field goal. Does he want to take the free points or does he want to risk it? Big difference between 1 yard and 2 yard, and he is going to go for it. So a monster play here in this contest right here in the first quarter. Can Shreveport hold, or does Philadelphia punch this through for 6? Again, it's Pollard, Kamara, Juszczyk, and Cousins. Is Shreveport going to try to key here, or are they just going to go run and take their chances? It's a pitch out to Pollard, but he's only able to pick up 1, and it was guessed wrong. Wow. What a roll. What an unfortunate roll. If you look on Pollard's card, aside from the dreaded 5, that was the only roll that would have kept him from the end zone. From his perspective, at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chances out of 36 that he's going to be stopped. So a bad break ultimately for Philadelphia as they come away with no points. But on the bright side, Shreveport is sitting at their 1. This is the second time they've started out with possession inside of their own 10-yard line. Now we have serious business here. Jeopardy for a safety. They got to try to figure out a way to get this thing out of the end zone. Wouldn't be surprised if Duke called a run here just to. And there it is, the sneak to Josh Allen, and he picks up 7. It was on the D card. So a little bit of breathing room there. That was the first play of the second quarter. No score in the first. Not much of a surprise. Neither one of these two have dynamic offenses, but both of them do have very, very good defenses. So no surprise that we have potentially a low-scoring affair here, reflected there by the first quarter of a shutout. But Philadelphia definitely left some points on the board there. But an unfortunate roll for sure. There's an off-tackle run. Again, defense guesses run, but they don't get that benefit. They didn't move a linebacker up, and so an 11-yard pickup for Aaron Jones. And now they've made their way to the 19. So Shreveport dodging a bullet. Off-tackle run again. Aaron Jones, defense guesses pass. Again on the defensive card, another 5-yard gain. Shreveport has a very nice offensive line there to your left. tackle 6, guard 6. They also have a tackle 5 on the right next to Higbee, who's only a 4. There's a quick look that is guessed wrong, and there's another unfortunate roll. That's incomplete. Don't see very many guessed wrong 5 blanks, but Allen unfortunately just doesn't have the completion percentage. And so whereas that on most cards would have been a nice pickup, instead it's the ball falls harmlessly to the turf when he's looking for Higbee there, and it's now 3rd and 5. So that's a bad break for Shreveport. Sideline pass, 2 men in zone. Nicely done by Szymanski. He floods that zone, and it's incomplete. And so for the 3rd time, Shreveport is unable to move the ball, and we'll give it right back to Philadelphia. Punt travels to the 25. Fair catch by Ayuk. And the Eagles take over, actually, at the 24-yard line. So here's Philadelphia's 3rd possession. They made their way all the way to the Shreveport Steamer 1, but came up with nothing on their last drive, as Pollard was stopped at the 1-yard line. There's a run for 3 from Kamara. Not the card that you're used to from Alvin Kamara. That's a pretty pedestrian card. Your 6, 7, and 8 are 6, 3, and 5. It's not really all that chunky either. He does have short gains on 3 and 11 and a 27 on 12. So it's not exactly a card that scares you. Off tackle run, this time to Pollard. And defense calls run, and he is stopped for no gain. Now Pollard's card has a short gain on a 7. And a chunky run there of 28 at 11 and another short gain at 3. So a bit better card. He's going to split carries between both players. I would imagine Kamara probably has more carries than Pollard, but I guess I can't be for sure. Don't know how many attempts he had. There's a deep shot looking for Braylon Edwards. There's nobody there in the zone. Cousins is going to take off, and he stops short of the line to gain by 2. So he scrambles for 5, but he stopped 2 yards short. And for the 3rd time, Philadelphia is stopped. And we'll give the ball back to Shreveport on this punt. And the punt is fumbled. Let's see who's going to recover it. Oh, Philadelphia catches another break. So the punt is fumbled, and it is picked up by the Eagles. So Spencer for Shreveport coughs it up, and the Eagles will take over, and they're going for blood on the first play. Long pass, incomplete. And that's where that terrific secondary of Shreveport comes into play. Defender X reading as he's looking for Edwards. Defended by a 6. That one's knocked away every single time. Actually, it was defensive back in the zone, so that would have been the free safety came over to make the play, and he's a 5. So blocking back reading there on 2nd down. That's not usually going to net much, if anything. In this case, it picks up 3. So 3rd and 7. So Philadelphia's looking good here, barring a turnover for a potential score. Certainly in field goal range. From here, it'd be 38. 3 wide set, 3-3-5. 3-3-5 defense. Now, when they bring out a 3rd DB, that's the first time that you're going to see a 4. Not very many 5 third corners here in Autumn Wind. Just not a lot of. There's just not a lot in the league. Probably just a couple, maybe 3. Here's a quick look to Hunter Henry, and he's successfully double teamed. So Shreveport, let's see, McManus, if he's able to put this through, and he is. So Shreveport bends, but they don't break, and they do allow the first score of the game. We missed the animation there for the for the kickoff, which was a touchback. and Shreveport will take over at the 25. But Philadelphia has gotten on the board first with that field goal from Brandon McManus from 40 yards out. And the Eagles are up 3-0. So Shreveport with 8 minutes to go. Second down and 10 from their own 25. That was a short pass from Allen. He could not hook up with Juwan Johnson. High formation, Aaron Jones. Been pretty quiet so far in this first half. There's a deep pass looking for Deshaun Jackson, and it is incomplete. Defender X or long gain. All he needed to be a 4, and that's exactly who was guarding Deshaun Jackson there. That was James Bradbury. Former Carolina Panther. I think he's a real-life Philadelphia Eagle. Only rated as a 4 last year, but that was enough. Now looking for Adam Thielen, and that pass is incomplete. So Allen can't connect on any of his 3 pass attempts there, and they're going to have to give the ball back to Philadelphia. Ayuk catches it and is tackled immediately. And so the Eagles will take over at their own 27. They're up 3-0 here in a brisk first half between Shreveport and Philadelphia. This is their 5th possession. Shreveport has not been able to move the ball an inch in their 4 possessions. Here is a look for Kyle Juszczyk coming out of the backfield. And it looks like it was a snap fumble. So Cousins fumbles it. Now let's see who recovers. Oh, hey, so now they get the break. So Shreveport comes up with that fumble. And, why make the effort to drive the field when you can just pick it up at their own 26? And so now with excellent field position, certainly in field goal range already, there's a run for 4 for Aaron Jones. It's now second down and 6 with the ball to 22. So Shreveport is definitely in business here. They've had a great deal of offensive struggles here in the first half, but they capitalize on their first big break. Well, probably the second big break. I think the first big break would be the guessed wrong 4th down call on Pollard, and he stumbled before making it into the end zone, as Philadelphia came away with no points a couple of drives ago. Looked like an automatic touchdown, but Pollard was stopped at the 1. Philadelphia later picked up a field goal for 3 to give them a 3-0 lead. Now Shreveport, a big 3rd down and 3 with the ball at the Eagles' 19. Allen just connected with Aaron Jones on a 3-yard flat pass up the middle for Jones, and he's able to get it. Defense called run, but with no linebackers to support a run up the middle, nose tackle 3 or 7, nose tackle was able to make the play on a 4, but it didn't matter. All he needed was 3 yards. And there is a run for Aaron Jones, guessed wrong, and he dials up the 28 on his card, which is more than enough to get to the end zone. And then Shreveport clunks the extra point. So that was Fairbairn who missed the extra point, but Shreveport will take the lead now at 6-3. And Philadelphia has 5 minutes for the end of the half. There's a pickup of 4 there for Kamara. So just under 5 to go, and Philadelphia trailing 6-3. So the Eagles have turned the ball over twice this half, once on downs and once on a fumble that basically led to Shreveport's only score. And Shreveport also fumbled. So that's their turnover. There's an inside run for Kamara. Doesn't go anywhere. It's on the defense's card. And the linebacker, once again in the zone, is able to make the play. So he's plugging up the holes and making the plays, especially when it's on the D card. So it's 3rd down and 7. A little deep shot, incomplete pass. Defense guess pass. They were looking long for Braylon Edwards. And they'll turn the ball back over to Shreveport. Shreveport will not pick up the ball. And again, they've got the ball deep in their own territory. No surprise. It seems like it's been this way for the entire first half. Their only score came on a fumble from Philadelphia here just a few moments ago inside Philadelphia territory, and it led to their 6 points on an Aaron Jones 19-yard touchdown run. And they have the lead 6-3. There's a run for Aaron Jones. He's going to pick up 18, bringing the ball out to the 30. 2:42 on a running clock. Deshaun Jackson and Adam Thielen are your outside receivers. With Higbee, Allen under center. Here's a screen pass looking for Jones. He'll get 7. Not going to call timeout here. And in fact, they're going to let the clock go all the way down to the 2-minute warning. So it's 2nd down and 3. Actually, the offense can't hurry up there now that I think about it. You only have one choice. You could call timeout or just run another play. Here's an off-tackle run to Jones. Defense guesses run, and they stop him behind the line of scrimmage, and that'll make our way to the 2-minute warning. Shreveport up 6-3, facing 3rd down and 3 from their own 37. Philadelphia makes a stop here. Maybe they've got a shot at trying to get a score before the half. Shreveport will have the ball just coming out of halftime. So Shreveport's going to stay in their I formation, and Duke is going to counter with a 3-3-5. So they've got a free double team someplace. They're not showing blitz here. Looking for Adam Thielen, and there is a sack. Who wound up getting him there? Carlos Dunlap. And so the Eagles will call timeout. And Shreveport is going to boot this one away. So the Eagles will have just under 2 minutes here to get a score. That was a poor kick. Only 36 yards. Only 36 yards from Andy Townsend, and Ayuk brought the ball back only 2 yards. So 1:45 to go, but the Eagles do have great field position here. Here's an off-tackle run to Kamara. He's able to get 3. And now 2nd down and 7. Philadelphia comes back up to the line of scrimmage. They're going to run no huddle. Byron's is going to stay in his 3-4. Not much to worry about there in that secondary, going over the top with 6s and 5s throughout. There's a quick slant looking for Hunter Henry. Defense guesses pass. And a white dice 6, so a nice break for the Eagles as Hunter Henry corrals it and goes 15 yards to the 43. Now let's see if they're going to continue to run no huddle, and they do. So they're going to preserve their timeouts. Duke has 2 of them as they're closing in on field goal range, but from the 43 here, they're Probably another first down away from a decent crack at a field goal and tying up this game. 1 minute to go. Eagles trailing 6-3 to Shreveport. Off tackle draw to Alvin Kamara. Oh, excuse me. That was a pass to Alvin Kamara. Defender X. His linebacker was not able to make the play. Linebacker covering him. It was a white dive 5, so a short gain for Alvin Kamara. He picks up 18. And so the Eagles are definitely in business now. 37 seconds to go. Kamara did not get out of bounds, and so they're going to just continue to play hurry up here and stay in that same formation, the I formation. Do not bring a third wide out onto the field. And there's a pitch out to Kamara, and he's got some big yards as he makes his way all the way to the 4. And so he dials up the 12 on the defensive card. The defensive end is not able to make the play. He only had a 4 there, so that's a 21-yard gain for Kamara. And so things are looking really good now for the Eagles as they will take timeout. So that'll leave 30 seconds to go with first and goal from the 4. So with that timeout, they have room for probably 1 run, maybe 2, without losing all that time. Certainly you want to come away with something here, so you need to manage this clock as best you can. But lots of options. Certainly they're not pigeonholed into passing here. So full house. They did not bring a third wide receiver out or a second tight end. And there's a run for Juszczyk. Hey, cross him up. A sweep to Juszczyk. And the outside end is able to make the block, and Juszczyk gets into the end zone. So a nice drive, quick drive there for Philadelphia, and they will take the lead here before the half with 15 seconds to go. They're up 10-6. So Giovanni Bernard catches it, and we have a crash, so we'll have to jump back into this game. We have a bug in this game that sometimes after a kickoff goes into the end zone that the game will crash for spectators. Although, I do wonder, if I remember correctly, I think this affects everybody, so they may have to throw out a new number. There we go. So I got kicked out, but they didn't. So I was putting in the wrong number. Allen's going to run it on this last play and pick up a good chunk of yards, but unfortunately the time will run out for the Steamer, who I thought was supposed to get the ball here. It actually was Philadelphia. I'm sorry about that. So Philadelphia will take over here, up 10-6. Well-coached game for both of these clubs. Definitely a defensive battle. Only 3 scores so far. Shreveport with 6 points, and they got theirs from a Jones 16-yard run, the Green Bay Packer. That gave them the lead at 6-3. Philadelphia took a 3-0 lead after that was actually the first turnover for Shreveport was a fumble. Philadelphia took over, and that's how they got their first score at 3-0. Shreveport got theirs on a fumble by Philadelphia, and that was Aaron Jones on a 19-yard run to give them a 6-3 lead. Philadelphia with a nice drive, which actually was set up by a kind of a mediocre kick by Shreveport Townsend, and they were able to make their way down the field 2-minute drill style, capped off by a 4-yard run by Kyle Juszczyk. So we're not expecting to see a great deal of statistics here. Josh Allen, only 3 of 11 so far for 21 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Kirk Cousins, 9 of 14 for 109 yards. Aaron Jones, 10 carries for 77 yards for Shreveport. Kamara has been held in check, 10 carries for 32 yards. Also note that Josh Allen, while he's not been great through the air, 5 carries for 34 yards. There was 1 sack, and it was a big one. It stymied a Shreveport drive. That was Carlos Dunlap. So there's your only sack. There have been no interceptions. Both the clubs are taking a little break before getting started. So we'll set up the board and get back after it. So this is the last of 4 wildcard games to be played here in Autumn Wind for our 2022-23 season. These 2 clubs are in the NFC, and the other 3 already have been played, and we'll talk to you at the end of the game about the matchups that will be coming up for the divisional round. So we'll take a break here with both clubs and be with you in just a moment. A dynamic play there on the first play from scrimmage. Actually, on the kickoff, Philadelphia fumbled the ball, but this time they're able to hold on to it. Wow, that would have been a huge momentum turn for Shreveport, but instead Philadelphia will take over with poor field position inside their 15, but it could have been a lot worse. So that was actually Pollard who fumbled the ball. There's a pass over the middle, and it's caught, and it's going to be a big gain there for Cole. 41-yard gain. There's a quick look for Juszczyk, and he picks up 7. Let's look at Keelan Cole's card. So he must have picked up that he must have hit the 2 because he got a long gain. So 2 plays in, and already Philadelphia is in Shreveport territory. There's a run. It's only getting 2. Again, Kamara just can't seem to get it started. 11 carries for 34 yards. And it's 3rd and 1. Probably 4-down territory here, I would imagine. He's going to have 2 cracks at it to move the chains. Of course, he's hoping for something a little bit more appealing than the last time when he had a 4th and 2, guessed wrong, and just got a bad roll. quarterback sneak to, oh, and look at this. He's stopped. Not only is Kirk Cousins stopped, but he's knocked back 2 yards. So the worst possible roll on his card, and he gets it. So now it's 4th and 3 at the 37, and so it's decision time here for Saminsky. He's going to keep his offense out. He's going to go with the pro set. So Kamara stays in the game with Juszczyk. And now Ayuk has checked into the game, and he's out there with Brian Edwards, along with Henry. Cousins under center, defense again in their 3-4. Let's see, will Shreveport call run and maybe flood the flats? Or will they call pass and just plug holes? They're going to basically go all out for one or the other, maybe short yardage defense potentially. It's a big turning point here in the game. Wow, short pass looking for Ayuk, and he completes it on Kirk Cousins' card, an 11. Guessed right. Defended by a 5. He throws right into the teeth of the defense, and Cousins converts. So a big play there from Captain Kirk. And the Eagles now have the ball at the Shreveport 26. A nice opening drive here that could have been derailed on a fumbled kick return. They're able to come up with it. This drive started at the 15. There's a run guessed wrong for Kamara. He dials up the dreaded 5, and that's a 0, so it's 2nd and 10. Quick in for Juszczyk. Defense guesses pass. That's a pickup of 5, and that'll make it 3rd and 5. And after that run that only picks up 4, so again, another 4th down decision here for Philadelphia. And he's going to go for it again. So 4-yard pickup. So again, Shreveport has a chance to stand tall, trailing 10-6. A field goal here would make it a touchdown game. It's not a chip shot, but it's a 34-yard field goal, which of course is super makeable. But Philadelphia doesn't want to settle for 3 here again. They already left 3 points on the board early on a 4th and goal from the 2. And it looks like they're going to roll the dice again. Shreveport's defense, the number 1 scoring defense in the NFC and 3rd best throughout autumn wind. The only 2 that were better, New York and Montreal. Here's a screen pass. Looking for Kamara. Defense guesses pass. Oh, a white dice 6. Nice break for Philadelphia. Pickup of 14. And that's going to move the chains. Not much you can do about that. You might get lucky and flood the flat, and you don't get that 0-man in zone. Had they flooded it, the correct zone, it would have been an incomplete pass. But instead, Philadelphia is in business. Ball resting at the 3. So there's that same full house lineup that we've seen. Kyle Juszczyk surprised everybody with an end run and picked up a touchdown. Up the middle, looking for Juszczyk, looking for his 2nd score, but he's stopped. So tighten up, Shreveport. Let's see if they can hold him again. Already had 1 successful goal line stand. Can they come up with two? Off tackle run for Juszczyk. Defense guesses run. They didn't key on anybody. And again, Juszczyk is hauled down actually behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard. So it's 3rd and 4. Could Shreveport possibly come up with 2 goal line stands in one game? Needless to say, a big 3rd down call here for Philadelphia. This is going to be the difference between a 2-score game and maybe having to settle for a field goal if Duke decides to do that. Who knows? He might go for it again, depending on the outcome of this play. 3rd and 4. They do not go full house and instead have that pro set in. You see a lot of 4s there, but those linebackers have run ratings of 5. So there's a 0 on that side. Oh, Kamara. Defense guesses run. But that linebacker in the zone on the white die was a 6. And so the linebacker was unable to make the play. So that was a nice break for Philadelphia. They had the hole plugged, but not enough. And so Philadelphia now will take a 2-score lead at 17-6. Lots of time. We're only midway through the 3rd quarter. Philadelphia had the ball since the opening gun, so a lengthy drive of 7+ minutes. And so Shreveport has to get Josh Allen off the schneid. 3 of 11 for only 21 yards in the first half. He did run the ball for 34, but a lot of those came on one play. So they're offensively, they've been challenged. Had it not been for an Eagles fumble recovery, Eagles fumble in which Shreveport recovered, they wouldn't have a score right now. It led to the only score, a touchdown. Their field goal kicker missed the extra point, which has us our score currently 17-6. There's a pitch out. And go to pick up 4 on the play. And that's the first appearance for Greenwell. Philadelphia Eagles reserve running back. That's Kenneth Greenwell. Eagles with 3 good running backs in this set. Bo Scott, Kenneth Greenwell, and of course Miles Sanders. There's a look for Greenwell. Defense guesses run, and it's a 9-yard pickup. And first down for the Shreveport Steamer. 10-6 in the NFC. Division winner up against the 3rd place finisher. Philadelphia Eagles finished 3rd in their division, and Shreveport won their division, but Philadelphia 12-4 gets to host the 10-6 Steamer. Pick up a 5 on the play on that quick pass. That was to Braylon Edwards. So Allen now is 5 of 13 for only 35 yards. There's a run, pickup of 4. So it's 3rd and 1. Shreveport just looking for that opportunity when Duke is going to guess run, and maybe he can go over the top to Deshaun Jackson, who's being guarded by a 4. And he's got long gains on 6 and 8, guessed wrong. Just trying to find that opportunity. Could this be the play on a 3rd and 1? Off tackle run for Greenwell. He will pick up 11 as the defense keyed Josh Allen. So for the first time, well, this is Shreveport's first possession. So for the first time, they've made their way into Eagle territory now with the ball resting at the 42. So Greenwell has been the primary back on this drive, looking good so far. Here's a halfback screen to Greenwell, and it falls incomplete. It's on Kenneth's card, 2nd and 10. And there is that deep shot to Jackson, but it's incomplete. 0 men in zone. But Jackson is unable to haul it in. Had that been guessed wrong, it would have been a long game. So this is not the situation that you want Josh Allen. A 3rd and long, 3rd and 10. But he does have a nice must-run card, but it's eliminated if they get the right double team. And there is an end run for Josh Allen, but they had a 3-wide set. So with a white die 1, he gets no gain. Had that been a 2 or a 3, he would have picked up 10. So now with the ball 4th and 10 at the 42, this is a 59-yard field goal possibility. They will not. They're going to go ahead and punt this ball. Maybe they were thinking about going for it there, but 4th and 10, odds obviously would have been long for that. So they elect to return this Townsend kick, and it's a good decision as Ayuk takes it back 27 yards. So Philadelphia will start out with decent field position here at their own 34 with 3:18 to go. They're up 17-6 over Shreveport. And there's a run up the middle. Actually, excuse me, that was a pass over the middle to Alvin Kamara. Again, white die 6, 0 men in the zone. He's had a couple of those now. So 15-yard pickup for Kamara. Here's an off-tackle run. Guessed wrong, pick up a 5, and so they are now in Shreveport territory. So Philadelphia, I believe, is the 4th seed, and Shreveport is the 5th seed. Here in this wildcard matchup. Here's an inside run for Kamara. Defense actually double teaming. Called pass and double teams Hunter Henry. But he's stopped immediately as the left guard is not able to make the block, and so it's 3rd and 5. So the winner of this contest is going to take on the Cleveland Browns, the number 1 seed. There's a pass that goes nowhere, and Shreveport is going to hold. So that's a big, big play for them. Philadelphia was driving, looking good, but they'll be stopped short. Now Philadelphia will try once again to pin them deep. Almost got to it and almost stopped him, but instead the ball sails into the end zone, and so Shreveport will take over at their 20. Just a few ticks left here in the 3rd quarter, so Shreveport has to start putting together some drives that are going to lead to points. Their only points today came off of a turnover inside of Philadelphia's 30-yard line. It's their 1 score. So they need to have a nice drive here. This is a big, big, important drive, and it starts out with a 6-yard pickup from Greenwell. So the winner of this game is going to take on the Cleveland Browns, who finished 13-3, the number 1 seed in the NFC. So I'm sure Cleveland will be watching this broadcast, or certainly the replay. There's another run and a pickup of a first down for Greenwell as the ball now rests at the 33. Got 7 on that play. Off tackle run again for Greenwell. Picks up 6. Runs of 12 and 14 on your 6 and 7. So those are nice if you can run into those. You're only disappointed if you hit a 5 or a 9. So you're going to get consistent yards on that card. And again, Greenwell, workhorse back here. That's 7 carries now for 45 yards. Another first down for Shreveport as we made our way into the fourth quarter. Shreveport trailing 17-6. Another off-tackle run. Defense is double teaming elsewhere. Greenwell again, 7 yards. 8 carries, 52 now for the reserve Philadelphia Eagles running back. So Shreveport slow and steady on this drive. Allen just hasn't had a good game, so they're deciding to basically hand the ball off and matriculate down the field. Methodically, if you will. Call took a little while to come in. Defense actually finally keys, wouldn't you know it, on the play that now that's what they need, is basically Shreveport calling run after run after run until he can finally convince Philadelphia to call run. And there was your play. It was a pass to Higbee. And guess strong, that was a pickup of 13. Had that been on Allen's card, would have been no gain. And there's a pitch out. That's going to be a nice gain of 18 yards. Again, that's Greenwell, who has rushed for 70 yards. I'd have to imagine this is one of his best games of the year for Shreveport. He's been hot. So trailing by 11, they've made their way into field goal range here. Ball at the 16. Here's a screen pass. That's a nice pickup of 7. There's that man again, Greenwell. That's his third reception for 21 yards. So 91 yards total offense for Greenwell, who's been a difference maker, certainly on this drive. 2nd and 3 as they're inside of the 10. The flat pass is out, and Philadelphia will crowd the line of scrimmage. Pretty much a wall of 4s there in the secondary. Is he going to try to go after them? Yes, he is. It's on Allen's card, and this time he connects. 11-yard gain to Tyler Higbee, a touchdown. And Shreveport has made this game a lot tighter. It's 17-12. They're going to try to get 2 here to cut this down to a field goal. So Aaron Jones has checked into the game, who's kind of become the forgotten man, as Greenwell has been exceptional. That's Deshaun Jackson there to the outside. Here's a pitch, and Greenwell is stopped. So that's big for Philadelphia. Field goal won't tie it. It's going to take a touchdown. But that's the first sustained drive for Shreveport in this contest. So excellent drive there for Rick. And now Duke has some work to do. He's up by 5. 10:40 to go here in this last of 4 Autumn Wind Wildcard games. The winner's going to take on Cleveland. There's a pass over the middle, but the defender is able to make the play. Defender X of 5. That's why Rick has that great secondary back there. So Shreveport defense stands up strong. 2nd and 10. So Greenwell has come in and truly done the job and probably preserving some carries for Aaron Jones. I'd have to imagine that Aaron Jones's card is better than Greenwell's, but right now he's going with the hot player who helped put together a drive that has cut this lead to 5. He's been a difference maker. Now Philadelphia needs to counter. Off tackle run for Tony Pollard. Defense is double teaming elsewhere. There's a run, but he only picks up, actually he doesn't get anything. One linebacker just happened to be in that zone. And so things are getting very exciting for Shreveport here, as they've got a chance, if they can get a hold here, to get this ball back, trailing 17-12. The momentum definitely has swung in Shreveport's direction. Now let's see if the Eagles can figure out a way to wrestle it back. Big 3rd and 7. So you got Cousins in shotgun. You got Juszczyk right there with him. Oh, great call by Shreveport as they double team Hunter Henry, and they're going to get this ball back and probably in decent field position here. Let's see this punt coming from the 34. Bailey boots it, picks it up at the 15, and that's a nice return of 25 yards. So both clubs have gotten that 2 on returns, on punt returns and kick returns. Actually, both of them were punt returns. So that was a 25-yard pickup. I think Ayuk had a 27. And so Shreveport will take over in good field position. Now we see Aaron Jones has checked back into the ball game. He has 11 carries for 81 yards. So the nice thing about Greenwell is you did protect Aaron. He's pretty much going to be unlimited for the rest of this game, and he's starting to take over. There's a first down on that 6-yard run. 8-yard run, as the tackle is able to make the block. He's running to that strong left side with 2 6s. There's a short pass. Guessed right. It's incomplete. Szymanski brought up his, it looked like he brought up his 6. He brought up somebody to the outside. He may actually taken his linebacker and moved his 6 to the outside. I'll have to take a look at that. All right, so he keeps his 6 in the middle here and uses one of those linebackers to double team a tight end. That was a run for Allen. Unfortunately, it was on the D card, and he doesn't come up with anything. So 3rd and 11, tough conversion. Tough conversion here for Shreveport. Odds definitely against them here, 3.35. Although, again, you see those 4s in the secondary. Does he go to Higbee again? He's been a favorite target. Oh, gosh. Right between the 5 and the 7. And so he hits a blank. And so he's going to have to get this ball back. So they're going to have to play good defense twice. Let's see if he can pin him here. Kind of. That's okay. Eagles will take over at the 12. So 6:36 to go. No surprise, a low-scoring contest here between between Shreveport and Philadelphia. The Eagles up 17-12. They have the ball at their own 12-yard line. There's a run for Kamara. That's a pickup of 5. That's 17 carries now for 52 yards. Second and 5, ball at the 17. We made our way to the 6-minute mark on a running clock. Philadelphia up 17-12. Inside run for Kamara. Defense guesses run. He is able to get a yard, and it's now 3rd and 4. So again, Shreveport with a chance to get this ball back with time running out. How many 3rd down opportunities are they going to have? Here's one right here, 3rd and 4. It's a manageable 3rd down, but Shreveport has an excellent defense. Let's see if they can come up strong again. Maybe we'll see an off-tackle run here for Kamara. Maybe go over that off-tackle 4 and challenge that 4 defensive end. Maybe an off-tackle right. Defense guesses run. And they're looking at Juszczyk, who is able – oh, wow. So how about that? So Juszczyk is able to pick up 6, which probably would be his longest gain. That's why he didn't get 12 there. Instead, he only winds up getting his longest gain of the year, which would have probably been 7 yards, and that's good enough for a first down. If it's guessed right, which it was, that would basically, on Juszczyk's card, that thing would have been pretty much history. But instead, Philadelphia is able to convert 4:48 on a running clock. Here's an off tackle. Defense guesses run again. No gain. Great call from Shreveport. 2nd down and 11. 4:12 to go. Barring a turnover, Shreveport has to get a stop here pretty soon. It'd be advisable to get it here. Got a great opportunity there on that first down stop. 2nd down and 10. Is Duke going to continue to play conservative and just try to munch more clock? Or does he choose to go downfield on this play? There's a quick slant. It is complete. Looking for Hunter Henry, who's been a primary target today. 4 catches for 38. Doesn't get much, but again, it takes a lot of time off the clock. So tick, tick, tick. 3:38 to go. 3:36. 3rd and 8. So a second shot for Shreveport to get Philadelphia off the field and get the ball back with less than 3 minutes to go. Setting up a potential last drive, but they got to take care of business right here. Four-man in zone, incomplete pass for Kirk Cousins, so they are going to get the ball back. Let's see what kind of field position they're going to have. That's a nice kick, 52 yards. Ball received at the 20 and a nice return of 12. So this sets the stage, 3 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter, the best that Shreveport could have hoped for. A final drive that potentially could give them the chance to move on, but they need to get a touchdown. They have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Here's a screen. Actually, a fly to Jackson, and Allen is going to run it. Zigzags. It gets to the 38-yard line. He is not able to get out of bounds, so that play took up a fair amount of time. 36 seconds, in fact, for a 4-yard pickup. But he was looking deep. There's an off-tackle run. That's going to get 3. That'll take the clock down to 2:06 unless he calls timeout, and he does not. And so we'll go to the 2-minute warning. So it's now 3rd and 3 with the ball at the 41. They do have all 3 of their timeouts. Definitely 4 down territory here. So they got 2 cracks at it. It's not going to take a field goal, though. It's going to take a touchdown. So Aaron Jones in the backfield. Does Duke... What's he going to do? Does he think a run is coming? Off tackle, defense guesses pass. Oh, wow. So it's a pickup of 6 on a 12. You are definitely hoping for better there. Had he had an 11, it would have been a 28-yard gain. Snake Eyes would have gotten him a short game. He only gets 6, but that's enough to move the chain. So first down. They did not call timeout. Ball is still inside of their territory, as now they've made their way to midfield. And unfortunately, once again, they cannot get out of bounds, and they will call timeout here. So 2 timeouts remaining for Shreveport. The ball is resting at the 50. A minute 15 to go. We are setting up for a great finish. Shreveport with an opportunity to sneak away with a victory, but they're going to need a touchdown, and they're 50 yards from doing it. They have 75 seconds on the clock. Defense guesses run. Oh, wow. Defense guesses run. And on Tyler Higbee's card, which has far more gains than blanks, he hits a 7. So a terrible break there for Shreveport. He deserved better on that play. That would have taken it inside of the 40-yard line, almost undoubtedly. But instead, it's 3rd and 7. 3 wide. Unfortunately, they don't really have a lot of talent there receiver-wise. Higbee and Thielen are your primary targets. Beasley and Jackson. Sideline pass, defense guesses run, and it's a pickup of 9. But again, he's unable to make it out of bounds. He's having bad luck with getting out of bounds. They're probably going to have to call a timeout there, I would think. Let's see. Or does he want to keep that 3 wide set? It looks like they're going to hurry up. Or maybe he did get out of bounds, actually. I didn't think he got out of bounds, but maybe he did because he did have a formation change here. So 3-3-5 defense. Eagles were anticipating run there. Maybe they thought Allen was going to run it, but instead he goes flat. Oh, nice pickup there on that short gain there for Allen. Actually, that was a run. And again, he cannot make his way out of bounds. He picks up 17, so that's good news. The bad news is the clock continues to grind away. 37 seconds to go. They decided not to call timeout and instead will go no huddle. How many end runs does Allen have? There's your answer. 0 man in zone. Long pass. Touchdown! Adam Thielen. Touchdown. Guessed right. Just nailed the 7. So a touchdown for Adam Thielen from Josh Allen. It wouldn't have mattered either way had somebody been in the zone. 1 or 0. It's still a receiver reading. So, wow, what a huge play. Adam Thielen comes through his first catch of the game, 24 yards on a bomb from Allen to Thielen. It's now up 18-17. Makes no sense to go for your extra point. Let's try for the third time this game to go for 2. They've been unsuccessful in the first ones. And look at this. Wow, what a break. Correctly double-teamed Higbee. Doesn't matter. He hauls it in. And now Shreveport has taken the lead 2017. So after that squib kick, Philadelphia basically has 3 plays here 2 plays to get it into field goal range. And the ball is on their 32 after that squib kick. So they bring out a 4th wide receiver. It's that guy from Atlanta, Zacharias, I believe. So defense in the 3-2-6. Now there's 2 4s who are going to come and play defensively here. Oh, no, actually, I'm sorry. That's only 1. So defense in the 3-2-6. Are they going to start double teaming some people here? Edwards is great deep. There's a deep shot looking for Zacharias. And that one is incomplete. And so 2 plays to go. Philadelphia has timeout. So in essence, we're basically down to the last 2 plays. So if they can get a long pass here and it stays in the field of play, Philadelphia can call timeout. A long pass here would, let's see, 32, 42, 52, 62. Anything inside of 30 yards would at least give the outside of 30 yards would give them a chance at a field goal. So anything that they hit long here would give them the opportunity. Outside of that, it's just going to have to be a chuck and pray for the last play if they don't complete this one here. Two men in zone passes incomplete. They had double teamed. Who was that to? Cole. So this is your ball game. From the 32. So Shreveport comes through with an amazing drive with 3 minutes to go. Josh Allen leading the club down, capped off by a 24-yard touchdown pass from Allen to Thielen. And for the first time in the game, they have taken the lead, and they are 1 second away from advancing for the opportunity to play the Cleveland Browns. And there's your bomb. It's going to fall incomplete, and that is your ball game. So congratulations to the Shreveport Steamer. And unfortunately, we are not going to have a repeat champion this year in Autumn Wind, as Duke and his Eagles will go down 20-17, a furious 14-point comeback for Shreveport there in the fourth quarter. and they will tally the victory. And Rick Byron's will be moving on to the divisional round playoff. Congratulations, Duke, as the Autumn Wind champion and ambassador of this league. You have a fantastic team, but ran into a good defense today from Shreveport that was very patient, and then came up with a big clutch throw, Allen to Thielen, at the end of this contest. So very, very exciting game. Very, very exciting game. 20-17. So Shreveport on the road defeats Philadelphia. We'll look at some of the stats here real quick. I imagine maybe one of us, maybe we'll get some interview here at the end. We'll just have to see. Just look at the individual statistics. Allen was 3 of 11 coming into the half. He didn't finish great. 10 of 23 for 97 yards, but he did have 2 touchdown passes and no interceptions. Kirk Cousins finished 16 of 28 for 203 yards. Did not throw an interception. Your leading rusher, Aaron Jones, 15 carries for 101 yards, but special note here to Kenneth Greenwell, who ran 9 times for 70 yards. And basically, on Shreveport's first touchdown drive, he was instrumental in getting the club close enough for their score. Alvin Kamara, 19 carries, definitely stymied there, less than 3 yards a carry for 53 yards. Higbee, 3 catches for 33 yards. He caught a 2-point conversion as well as a touchdown pass. And Adam Thielen, only 1 catch for the game for 24 yards and what turned out to be the game-winning score. Alvin Kamara was the main target for Philadelphia, 5 catches for 64 yards. Hunter Henry, 4 carries for 38 yards. And so that, my friends, is your statistics. The two teams are going to chat here for just a little bit. And I'll get back into the broadcast and see if anybody wants to join. I'll just send a note. Great game, exclamation mark. Congratulations, Rick. And if either one of you want to join the broadcast, feel free, comment. If not, period, I'll be shutting down.
You there, Michael?
Howdy.
Howdy.
How you doing?
Well, let's say my heart's pumping.
I imagine so. Good time for Alan Thielen to show up, right? Adam.
Man, it was funny. You know how Strat is. I didn't think I didn't think I could buy a roll all game, and then on that last drive I got every roll.
Yes. But on top of that too, how about the idea of using Greenwell, he was fantastic in that last drive. I mean, basically, and it helped you preserve carries for Aaron Jones down the stretch. So that was a big deal as well.
Yeah, fourth quarter that I had the one, where Gainwell, at that point I've been working in a few bombs, so he was gonna try to protect against it. But yeah, Gainwell, he's been like that all year. He kind of he's a good grinder to have on your team.
Yes, he is. And he was instrumental in that last drive. I know it was like pulling teeth basically for you to move the ball at all. And of course you cut that great big break with the fumble on his around the 22-yard line, I guess. And that gave you the short field to give you that first score. At least you had some sort of taste of what the end zone was going to be like. But I know your heart had to be in your throat considering, okay, look, I've got the ball, 3 minutes left to go. I'm going to have the last possession. I've got the chance at this. But knowing that Allen has just been really not great, basically, and so you're kind of looking around to think, what's the weapon that's going to basically get me over the top?
I know. And I just, just tried to hang around. And then you probably know, like I played Dave. countless times,
Yeah.
so I knew, and so I had his number. I thought I knew exactly what he was going to do every play,
Yeah.
which was cool. And then he just kept getting the rolls. Man, I thought, oh man, it doesn't matter, because
Yeah.
you know how it is, man. Some games you just like, yeah, it's just not in the cards this game.
No. But the Pollard run on 4th down, guessed wrong, and he winds up with like a 1. It's like, oh, you've got to be kidding me.
I
You've
know,
got to be
but he
kidding
had
me.
plenty where I had him guessed right, where he'd get the rating, or he'd go, that's Strat, man.
There's no human being. There's none of the 30 coaches in this league who aren't going to go for that on 4th and 1. I'm sorry. They're going to do that. Basically say, okay, if the dice gods are against me, not much I can do about it, but I'm at least going to give him the ball at the 1 yard line or the 2 yard line. So,
Well, and I know him, man. He loves to throw on 4th down. So I thought, man, he's throwing
oh
short.
yeah,
But he didn't, man. He made a good call, and the Strat gods smiled on that play.
yes they did.
But it still felt like, man, until the 4th quarter, like, man, it's just can't get anything done. But
You've built a very solid back end on your defense, your 5s and your 6s, and they came up big on a couple of Defender X readings. So that's nice. That's it. That's drafting and that's trading. And so the dice smiled on you for several of those calls, basically. Now, have you played Cleveland this year?
I haven't.
You haven't.
I mean, he's obviously, they're tough, man.
Yes,
So
they are.
it'd be
Yeah,
tough.
but yours are too. I mean, I didn't do a lot of show prep, but I realized that you had the 3rd best scoring defense in the entire league and number 1 in yours. So, I mean, it's no surprise you build a back end defense like that. And that's saying something considering you don't really have a lot of pass rush basically, but that 3-4 kind of makes a
think
difference too.
I mean, that's like, you look at Nathan, he had like, whatever, 60 some sacks, and
Right.
I think I had 6. But
I don't play
like a
with
blitzer. I like to kind of call, sit back and kind of make the offense do the work.
yeah.
I don't know, bend not break, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, but that's what's cool about this game is that there's like so many different ways to win. Because he advanced in his playoff game against St. Louis, and he basically decided, you know what, my defense stinks, but I'm going to build this super huge offense, and my secondary stinks, but I'm just going to basically bring heat constantly, and you can win with a poor defense here. I mean, it's not unprecedented, but my strategy is building a team the way you have. That's almost identical to the team that I would build. If I'm going to have pass rushers, it's like, boy, I just hope that they're on the line so I don't have to mess with anybody. It's just no muss, no fuss. And you've got the secondary that you don't have to move. And then when you run a 3-4, the only thing you're doing is just kind of like flooding flats or, double teaming a little bit. I'd like your style. That's the kind of team that I want, is where you just basically put them out there.
That's how it works, man. You look at like Dennis too, man. He is always doing that. He has defense isn't great. He'll double team well and blitz. Those guys are good coaches, man. Nathan is a phenomenal coach, man. That guy is like I mean, it was really interesting listening to you guys talk, because you kind of hear him talk about his philosophy, because it's just so different from mine. But obviously, it works. Man.
I don't know that I like the broadcast so much as I do talking to coaches afterward, because that's how you pick up stuff. You play, you watch these videos, you see. I mean, Dennis is here year after year after year. All you have to do is sit there and watch the things that he does. And these other coaches just, you don't have, like, coming into SSFA. And it's funny because when I did a couple of broadcasts today, it's like bing, 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 bing. What is all this? I knew what it was. I thought, oh, I must not have my microphone on. I'm pretty sure that I've screwed up this broadcast already. And instead, it was teams that were already putting together, hey, let's go ahead and start playing in our spring league. And usually that league that I'm in, I've played like 7 years and not made the playoffs one time. And this year I said, heck with it. I'm just trading everybody and I'm going to build this super team. And sure enough, it's like Ed will put out the roster preview and he has like this crazy sort of, here's your ranking of your quarterback, your running back, your wide receiver, and your defense. And so he has the points allotted to which teams roster wise are the best one. I have the number 2 roster. I've built a number 2 roster, and yet I know when I play Dennis, it's like, oh, geez, I'm going to be an underdog by 14 points, or I'm going to play Tom Cook, and I'm going to be an underdog by 10, or Nathan. I'm still going to be the underdog in every one of these games, but at least I've got the cards to compete with them this year.
Yeah,
So that's good.
I hope you take those guys down.
That's my goal. I don't think it's so much winning the league, but basically beating them senseless if possible. But Cleveland's got a real good offense, but this is just a double counting league. The defense, I think it really, really does make a difference here. Ben, don't break and just wait for, the turnovers and good breaks to happen your way. But that last drive wasn't about breaks. That was, I have Josh Allen. I know how frustrating it is. I had him in Strat 28, and he's a frustrating quarterback. It doesn't seem to translate from NFL to Strat, but you somehow figured out a way to get him down the field.
I mean, he came through when it mattered, right?
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Saminsky beat me last year, I think 22-20, and it was a similar kind of thing. It was just came down to the last play, last fourth quarter. And then he went on to win the all. So, I mean, who knows, man?
It's just a matter of getting in. That's all it is. My team had no business being in at 8-8. I had this weird, and you knew, because you played one of the teams that helped to, I hate to say this, I'm admitting it out loud. It's like, oh, please, Shreveport, win this game. Win this game. Give me a chance to play. And I got a chance to play Tim, and it was a good one. I don't know if you saw the broadcast, all of it, but
it was it was
fun.
I thought you did great. He's another really, really, really good coach, man. I thought you did it exactly right. You just came down to, just a couple plays and
2 snap fumbles. Yeah, that's fun.
Fumble. Yeah. That's the one thing. One thing we could say about Josh, he doesn't snap fumble, so that's good, man. Because that when Cousins did that was, I thought, okay, at least we got a chance.
Yeah, no.
I think I just I think I had fumbled a punt on the series before. So
he had a kickoff fumble too that he was able to recover. So no, this was he brags and brags because I know that you're one of the elder, no offense, but one of the elder statesmen of this league, and he's there he is. Wait, let's see.
There he is.
Oh, I said elder statesman. I hope I didn't offend. My goodness.
Dave, he was calling us old.
I want you guys back after me. Rick telling me how predictable I am and stuff.
Hey, just Michael, for the record, Dave is much older than I
am. I'm much older than everybody except Riley.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Rick. That was you would do that one,
Jim Riley's going to play till he's 100.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good thing.
Oh, it is a very good thing.
Demographically, at 53, I may be the young whippersnapper in this league. So
could be. Yeah. Yeah, it's ironic. We got a bunch of old dudes playing a game that was made for little kids.
Well, if you guys want to get into a 30-team Madden league, just let me know. But I don't think there's going to be any takers. I doubt it very seriously. I don't see much of us playing with our PS5s very often. So, Dave, I think you had him right where you wanted, even though you were giving him the last possession. I think that Josh Allen's card is maddening. It's very frustrating, and you knew he'd have to catch a lot of breaks down the stretch, even with a 3-minute drive left. I think you still had to feel pretty good about where you were.
Well, I didn't really. Allen was missing shots. I mean, Rick hits and got really unlucky on a couple of. He fussed up Jackson by me a couple of times, and I got the 4 roll, and and Rick, you kind of turned it around at the end, and you just stuck to the ground game, and that really turned it up for you. And I just felt if he got the ball last, it was going to be hard to stop him coming down the field. And I was debating whether to take Thielen, but I don't know that number he rolled. He probably would have got it on a double team even, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it was I felt I was at least running it out to the point where I was, 2.3 yards a carry on my ground game. I mean, that doesn't cut it. And
no,
I don't know.
No. Kamara doesn't have the same card like he used to, huh?
You called 13 passes on first down and 4 runs. And so I thought I thought the run on down would be effective, but it wasn't. I couldn't get. You know, and when I saw those cards at the beginning of the year, I thought I expected this team to be 8-8. That was my prediction.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was downgraded on defense almost every position from last year. Kamara's and Pollard's cards were really screwed by Strat-o-matic.
Yeah, very much so.
So the guess right columns were terrible, but somehow I was able to keep in games by keeping the ground game going. But it didn't work at all today, and that puts you at the mercy of the Byron's machine.
The machine sputtered until the fourth quarter. Man.
Yeah,
it didn't do anything.
It just came alive in the fourth quarter. That's for sure.
Up at some point.
Well, if you've got a defense as tough as his, I mean, you've got a chance. It's the stingiest defense in the conference. So I think Cleveland's got a lot of work. I mean, if he's able to win one on the road against you, I think Cleveland's got a lot of work. Now, did I understand this correctly? Is he actually going to be playing in his playoff games? I seem to have an indication that he was going to be out of town and might miss his first game.
I call that a forfeit.
And I also heard that his team is going to be played by Dennis Crowley. So,
well, you know, it's funny. I got of all the coaches, I've had really good luck against Dennis.
Really?
Oddly, like there's a lot of, and he's a great coach. I bet I have an over 500 record against him.
I'll have a separate broadcast with you. We should basically put that out so that everybody can watch that.
Well, I mean, yeah, and Dennis would probably agree. Like, it's not. We have good matches. I just get very lucky against him.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I had to
kind of like that last play against Dave. You know.
Yeah. He took over for Green Bay. A bunch of coaches basically took over for Green Bay, and I got a chance to play him. It's like, okay, it's like basically. It's like playing Hulk Hogan now. It's like, oh, great. Can we like have anybody else? It's not to take away from anybody else's coaching, but for whatever reason, he's had my number throughout. And yeah, it was.
No, that team has a great offense, man. I bet it's fun to play.
Yeah, he said that I enjoy playing this team better than I do my own Seahawks team.
Yeah.
So as I was crying at the end of the game, I wasn't really paying much attention. So
I have so much respect for as a coach, Mike, that 4 years ago I made the playoffs, but I had a trip planned to Guam to see my grandkids and my son out there. So I let Rick coach my team, and that's how much I think of Rick Byron as a coach.
Well, I would let him coach my team too, no problem.
But he got unlucky. You got unlucky again that game.
I mean, Dave, you had a better team than last year with that team, and I lost. And then you won last year, so obviously you're the better coach.
Well, you proved today who was the better one, Rick. Okay.
Yeah, about that.
I'm pulling.
Our game. Think about last year. I was telling Michael. Remember last year you beat. You know, we played in the first round. I think it was probably your toughest game. You won 22-20. Same kind of thing. Came down to like just the last.
Yeah,
series. Right. It was crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you cruise from there.
You know,
so
last year
I can get some of that mojo that you had last year.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I was 4-4 start last season, and I ran the table the last 8 games, and then I won the 4 playoff games, which was a remarkable. So that was 12 in a row, and then I won my first 8 games this year. So I won 20 straight.
Oh, wow!
Autumn win games. So I'm pretty proud of that run. That was pretty good. And like I said, this team this year, I never expected to make playoffs at all.
Yeah, I think if I predicted, maybe I said maybe 9 or 10. I thought your roster didn't look as good as what it was last year. I figured you'd make the playoffs, but I don't think anybody anticipated 12 wins.
No,
except Rick Byron's. Rick Byron's knew you'd get 12 wins. He knew.
I mean, I knew like the the Strat gods would have us matched up again, Dave. You knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. 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 I was.
Well, this is
game.
let's see. You both took on New Orleans. You're both in the same division. How did you do against both those clubs? Oh, I'm sorry. I talked over top of him. I couldn't tell he was talking. I'm sorry, Dave.
Sorry.
Like his internet is in and out.
It's a little slow. Dave, how did you do against New Orleans?
I think I won. I won one game and lost another. I think I was 1-1 against them.
Because that's who Houston's taken over. Do you know, Rick, how you did against them? Do you recall?
I beat him
Both times.
It was close.
Yeah,
I can look it up, but yeah, it was a close one. But I eked it out.
Okay.
Yeah, Jean. He's all those guys. The three Canadians are all tough.
Man. Yeah. Oh, that is who that is. Yeah. Wow.
They do their homework too, man. They come in ready. They know what you're going to do. So you gotta change it up or think. You gotta look at your tendencies and make sure you don't, because they're on it.
Yeah. Anthony, who called my game, a couple days before, he was like, he really loves the StreamYard and has put together like more professional broadcasts. He really digs it. And I listened to his broadcast. He did a great job. And he just happened to give me a glimpse of, well, I'm kind of doing some show prep on your game. And all of a sudden he showed me this crazy spreadsheet of all of my tendencies and stuff like that. And it's like, yikes. I just look at these games like 10 minutes before and say, okay, average defense. It looks like he's got a pass rush, and I'm just going to roll the dice and just see what happens. I don't have that kind of mechanical brain to even look at something like that.
You and I do it the same way. I mean, I even call them plays, man. I'm calling them fast. I'm always in the, in the hurry up, man. I'm just, let's go.
This game was so quick. There was hardly any gaps at all in this game. It was so fast.
I sometimes I'll call a play. I'm like, yeah, I probably should have. No, it doesn't matter. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Whereas Gabe's more methodical. You can see he's got his handwritten notes. He knows what I'm going to do.
I'm never going to get to the finals until I start taking notes.
You played that game in 120 minutes, Fred. That game was 120.
The game was 2 hours. Is that what you said? Or 1 hour, 20 minutes?
120.
Yeah. It was brisk. There was hardly any gaps between any of the plays at all, and just a little break at halftime.
When Nathan and I play, or like Dave will in this league, we're playing in 50 minutes.
Crowley does that too. He plays super fast.
Yeah, we play. Yeah, exactly.
Which that's even scarier. It's like he's like mindlessly just throwing plays in there. It's not like he's like, I'm sure he thinks it through, but he's like, I already know what this guy's going to do. He's never going to get this anyway. I'm not going to sit there for 6 seconds and figure out a play. It's like, I already know what I'm doing. He calls plays so fast it's almost offensive. Basically, he's so quick.
Yeah,
I got this guy.
I'm the same, man. I just like call it and say, let them think about how much thought I put.
Yeah. That's well, that was a brisk game. It's fun to have coaches that have been playing this game for years and years and years, and let's just we're not going to sit there and think a minute between each play. I like a brisk game, that's for sure. And it's a Saturday. We got to get outside and get some fresh air here a little bit.
That's right, man. I got stuff to do. I can't.
Yeah, that's right.
Can't be playing baseball in
about 1 hour.
Is that true? Yeah. That previous game was real fast too. Butch's game. They called game real quick. Yeah. Are you guys both Californians by chance?
We are.
Both of you?
Yeah, I'm in Orange County. Dave's out in Antelope Valley.
Yeah. Well,
we used to be. We used to play face to face. I know you've heard all these stories, but we played in face to face league. There were no hour 20 minutes in the face to face league, though. There were 4 or 5 hour games, long day.
He told me about how you were the ones, like one of the originators of this league, and the different game that you used to get to that point. Here's the thing. I hate to see Dave go from the playoffs, but that means now he's going to join me for these broadcasts, and he's like the historian, basically. He has like the whole history of this, and he'll throw in all sorts of sprinkles about that. So it'll be fun. Dave, I hate that you're gone, but I want you to join me on these if you can, as best you can.
He's going to tell you about how he fumbled on the last play of the game, and I turned around and kicked the field goal to beat him.
He told me about that.
I know the stories, man.
Well, that's what makes this league fun. I've just been very blessed to meet a lot of great coaches and a lot of very, very good people. So, I mean, I'm sorry I'm out of the playoffs, but I'm going to enjoy bringing the rest of these. And Dave, I hope you can get on here for as many as you can. And Rick, when you're not playing, come on. This is just a watch party. We're not broadcasting games.
Yeah, no, I'd love to. If I'm available, I'll come on.
Please do.
Hey, man, thanks for doing these. It makes the league really great, man.
Well, I want these to be on tape. This is my favorite league among all the ones that I play, and we want to do everything we can to get every one of these on tape. Because I told Tom Cook when he used to call these years ago, I played years and years ago, but it was card and dice. Didn't even realize they had an electronic game. And my mom was hospitalized about 7-8 years ago, and I was kind of bored. And I was like, I wonder if anybody still plays this game. And I just happened to run into Tom Cook and his broadcasts, and I got hooked watching these games because he's fun to listen to. And I thought, I'm going to
I miss him. I was definitely a Tom supporter, man. I miss him in the league.
I do. I totally do. But he has the number one team roster wise in SSFA. And I think he's going to be really surprised to find that I'm the number 2 roster guy in the SSFA. I'm sure that's going to bring him a lot of pain. He would do those post draft shows. And when I drafted Dak Prescott over Jared Goff, it was a 20-minute dissertation about how dumb I am and how terrible a choice this was. He would not, like a dog on a bone, he would not let this thing go. But I'll tell you this, here's how crazy I am. If it weren't for him, I may not have had Patrick Mahomes. I was seriously thinking about Mitch Trubisky. I really liked that guy and thought Mahomes isn't going to play for another year. And he just basically sat me down and blistered me and said, if you don't pick this guy, I'm not going to be your friend, basically.
Well, when you talk to him, like he roasted me on one of the preview shows.
Yeah.
In the retro league, I drafted Vince Ferragamo.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you were in that one, but Ferragamo, and he had like 6% intercept. He had interceptions all over his card, and I ended up winning the league. Every time I talk to Tom, hey Tom, and he'll say, like, you even just say the name Vince Ferragamo, I guarantee you he'll talk about me in that season.
I've got another one. So SSFA, I made not a great trade, but I really liked Shaquille Barrett. And at the time, I didn't pick him up thinking, oh, this guy's going to sack 20 quarterbacks in a season. I just knew he had a pretty fair amount of potential, and I just needed a 4 on the outside, and I think I gave up a high 3 for him. And oh my gosh, he was so angry at the trade committee for even allowing such a thing. And again, when the preview came, he was basically letting me have it over that. Well, all of a sudden, that was the year that Shaq had like 20 sacks, and so sack, and like slack. All of a sudden, it's like bing, 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 bing. See, you made a great pick. Dom doesn't know what he's talking about. It's like everybody was basically getting their frustration out over Shaquille O'Barrett.
I mean, that's why the preview shows are fun too. You put yourself out there, but it's all for fun, right? And then the ones you get wrong, you can laugh about, and the ones you get right, you can claim you're the smartest guy in the
Okay, so what do you want to do? Do you want to basically sit there and be nice and say that this team that probably doesn't have a chance to win a game they'll probably win 5 when they're not going to win any? Do you want to make friends, or do you want to be telling the truth? And the one thing about Tom Cook is he gives you the truth. He ain't worried about feelings.
And you know what? I've seen enough where the ones where he got wrong, or he laugh about it.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah. What should be.
Yeah. I miss him. I always think anything he would come back and do these broadcasts. I don't think that's going to be happening, but certainly he'll be there in SSFA. So
like today's game, I can just now, anytime I want, I can just say Adam Thielen and get a chill go up Dave's spine. So.
Well, it was a very, very well played game and a well coached game, and it's a shame that somebody's got to lose. But I think Cleveland's got to worry about your defense. I think it's going to be a great one, and hopefully Dave will join me when that broadcast comes. Just holler at us and let us know the day and time you're going to play. And even if it's West Coast, I stay up till 1 or 2 to make sure we get these things on tape. So you just holler and let us know when that happens, and we'll look forward to it.
I think if I remember, Ed's in Florida. He's somewhere. I think he's on the East Coast. So
At Carpenter. Yeah. Okay. Just
well,
holler at us. Well, listen, have a blessed weekend. Dave, great to hear
Michael,
from you. Please
can you
join
hear me,
us.
Michael?
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay, Michael?
Say again, please.
Can you hear me at all?
Now I can.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I got on with you today, and you didn't say anything to me. So I didn't think you wanted me to add anything. If I do come on, go ahead and treat me as your co-guy. Okay.
100%. No, 100%. I when I got on the, let's see, wait a minute. Were you there when Houston was playing St. Louis? Did I miss you?
No, you saw I was there, and you said, "Hey, welcome, Duke," and then you didn't say anything to me, and so I sat there, and you called the game, and I was watching the whole time. The one with Butch and Dan.
I hollered at you and said, "Hey, Dave, what do you think?"
Carolina.
Well, at one point during that game, at least 2 times, I kind of mentioned your name and said, "Hey, come join us," and I didn't hear anything from you. And then I think there was a play that I said, "Gosh, Duke, what'd you think about that call?" And then it was like
there.
blank. Were you there? Okay. Well, I'm sorry if I didn't invite you. Well, I'll make sure. I'll tell you, the thing is, once you get into this game, for me to sit there and flip back and forth, sometimes I miss it with my eyesight. I can't quite see it, but I'll make sure that I checked a couple times during the game to see if anybody else was going to join during this one, but nobody did. But I want you there, so I'm sorry if I didn't invite you, but I'll make sure that in the next games you'll be right there.
Okay.
Word for word.
Okay.
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 Well,
we'll get great day, guys.
We'll get the dates lined up and everything. We'll get the game set up, and I appreciate both of you guys joining me for after the game. Good luck, Rick, against Cleveland, and Duke. I'll see you for these broadcasts coming up. All right.
Congrats.
See you guys.
Congrats again, Rick. Okay.
Thanks, Dave.
See you.
Okay, so we're going to close it up here. Thank you both for joining me. And our final score, basically, Shreveport's going to move on. What was the final score to that? Let's look at that score one more time. 20-17. There we go. So Shreveport will move on to play Cleveland, and Duke will join me for these upcoming broadcasts. So we appreciate everybody joining us. So our finals are set for the divisional playoffs. Again, that will be the Los Angeles Rams will be moving on to the playoffs. They won their divisional round playoff matchup. So too did Shreveport. And so too did Houston and Carolina, who's moved on as well. So we now have our final 4 final divisional playoffs basically will be set up. So we will be putting that on the website, and we'll get the dates and times for all of these matchups. So thank you again for listening to this broadcast. Congratulations to Shreveport moving on. And we'll be back with you here very, very soon. So God bless everybody. Have a great weekend and stay safe. Take care.